On today's episode of Nerdy Dating, we talk about Harrison Butker's commencement speech and how he doesn't speak for all men. Just won't let that be known right now. We also talked about dating app issues and trying to get your partner off the dating app and into the person and having all day conversations. And we also talk about reciprocation. A lot of reciprocating is discussed in this episode. So on this episode of Nerdy Dating, sit around because we're about to get into it. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. I am your host, Zakka. What is Nerdy Dating? It is a relationship and dating advice podcast from a viewpoint of a nerd here in Kansas City, Missouri. And this episode was given to me. Somebody's like, hey, can you react to Harrison Butker's speech? As a Chiefs fan, which I am a diehard Chiefs fan, like, can you react to it? And a little backstory here. For what I know of Harrison Butker before I watched this video is that, like, I know he's super religious, and I know the school he gave the speech was a Catholic school, Benedictine college. So let's go ahead and get into what Harrison Butker has to say. I'm only reacting to the part where he speaks about women and relationships and households. So that's what I'm going to react to. This speech is a 20-minute speech he gives at the college graduation. And let's go ahead and see what Harrison is talking about here, because I am curious to see what he has to say. And here we go.
The world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. She's the primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She's the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. As a man who gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today, I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself. Everything I am.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I don't agree with Butker on what he believes that women in the audience, the women who graduate in college who spend 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever the case may be, bust their butts day in, day out to have a better life, are looking forward to being a mother and a wife more than having a career and job. He cannot speak for a whole gender. He cannot do that, especially the opposite gender. Harrison Butker doesn't speak for all men. I'm going to say that too. He doesn't speak for everybody. And for him to say that, it's really disrespectful of the ladies in that audience, because let them make their choice on what they want to be. The lies have been told, their vocation of being, homemakers, that's what you believe, Butker, but that's not what everybody else believes. And you can hold on to those traditional values. You found a woman who you see met in band class probably before you made it to league, who was willing to be who's willing to stay at home. She made a decision to stay at home. She could easily told you, kick rocks, I'm going to go work. And then your relationship would be, down the drain. Now, Butker, he does mention at this point, he's 29 years old and he is a multimillionaire. You look at his contract, he had 5 years worth $20 million. He's a multimillionaire. He can come from a place to say, hey, babe, you don't have to work. I'm going to go do football. I'm going to bring in the money. We're going to save it here, and we're going to have this money set aside to do other stuff with. But you don't have to work. You don't have to. He can easily say that to his wife because she doesn't have to work. He's a multimillionaire. But for somebody who didn't have the opportunity to go play sports in the professional league and make it to the league, for them, all right, I gotta go make money to take care of myself, and to rely on a whole nother person, whether it's a husband or wife, to bring in all the income while you sit at home and do nothing is, not really to rely on somebody to that extent where your life is dependent on somebody else and that person drops the ball and then you're like sitting there looking like, what now? You don't want to be put in that situation. Now, bringing kids into the world and having a family, and you want to have somebody stay at home and watch the kids, that's a decision that the husband and wife can make. If the wife makes more money, it's perfectly fine for the husband to be a stay-at-home husband and take care of the kids, and vice versa. There's no particular role on who has to do what. Butker does not speak for all men. Butker did not speak for all men. He is a conservative Catholic. Kudos to him. That's his belief. Should he have done it at a commencement speech? No. I think, matter of fact, if you would have asked Butker what his thoughts on the current state of, marriage and current state of relationships, if that was somebody who would have been asking that question, that's perfectly fine. But for him to say that to a whole gender who bust their butts day in, day out to pass and get through school, to tell them that, you should be more looking forward to, being a wife and a mother, that's not right. It's not right at all. It's not. It's not. That wasn't the place to even say it. And it bothers me because it's not right. But you know what? That's his thoughts and opinions, and pretty much for us, like, to kind of make that noise don't get everywhere else, and people try to like, well, yes, right, every woman. No, ladies, if you want to be a stay-at-home mother, you want to be a stay-at-home wife, that's completely fine. That's up to you. But ladies, if you also want to go out and get that bag, hustle, and make bring bread on your own, and have a family, have an establishment where you did it off your shoulders, that's 1,000% okay as well. There's nothing wrong with that. And matter of fact, I think this is the biggest case and scenario here is to find a partner who agree with you on that. Find a partner who's okay being your teammate in that kind of scenario. If you want to be somebody who goes and make money and bring home, bread and have the food on the table, you want to be that person, find a partner who's okay with you doing that. And you want to be somebody who wants to stay at home and take care of the kids and not, go out, not have your own income, whatever the case may be. That's perfectly fine as well. I don't like the fact that he said it, like he's speaking for his wife's behalf. They're like, oh, I think she's perfectly fine that she can get to follow her dreams to be a business owner. That was her dream. I don't think you understand how that sounds. But she's not gonna have any regrets. What does a 29-year-old gonna know about regrets? I guess you can have regrets. You can, but you don't know what next 10 years look like. You know what post-football career looks like, Butker. You don't know what your wife could do after you get done playing football and the money's not there. She might say, hey, I'm gonna go start that business. Or hey, I've been setting aside money here from your football career to go start that business. What you gonna do then, Buckner? What you gonna do then? So, yeah, I don't agree with Harrison. Harrison doesn't speak for all men. So that's something that to me is like, it's wild. I get it, your conservative views, and there's religious views out there that like are not, they're not exclude, or I guess what it's a word. There's not like accepting of everybody. There's religious views out there that pretty much put down other creeds, genders, races, orientations, whatever the case would be, preferences. There's other religions out there, and it's not a religious podcast, so I'm not gonna get all deep in the woods there. But when you believe that and that's your belief, that's one thing. But to say that and put down a whole group of people because you have a stage to do so is not cool. So I get it. He's at a Catholic college, but I guarantee you, there's people in that college, in that crowd, that graduation crowd, that he offended to high heaven, that they don't align with. You maybe the same religious background, they don't align at all. And I think that's one of the biggest things before I wrap this part up. But values. Find a partner that has the same shared values as you, who believes in the same religious beliefs as you, even underneath the same religion umbrella, who has the same outlook on life as you. If you date somebody who's like, alcohol is poison, is sin, and you're both Christians, but you're like, well, you know what? I like to drink on Sunday or drink red wine. Well, no, alcohol is sin, is poison. I'm not drinking that. And y'all butt heads over that. That shows you guys your values are not the same. You guys are different. You guys are not going to gel on that. He found a lady who believed the same belief and outlook as him. They've been together since band, so middle school, high school. That's what they believe in. He found his partner who believes in the same thing as him, from what we know of. But he doesn't speak for all men. He does not. All right, Reddit time. First Reddit post. Why is it so hard to get dates? As a 24 years old man, still a virgin, getting dates is way harder than any other thing I've tried to accomplish in my life. I thought that having superb money, a condo, and being okay looking will make me presentable to the feminine majority. Why do women like to talk hours via text about everything but not in person? Knowing them fully and not virtually. In my 4 years of active dating scene, I could count the numbers of times I went to meet the other gender on my fingers. Ladies, why meeting a man in person doesn't interest you anymore? What could I advantage myself via text to eager you to meet me faster? To eager you to meet me faster. Why does that sound weird? So you seem to not be having a problem getting women to talk to you. You just have a problem getting women on dates. Set up a date. Set up a date. If you're sitting there waiting for her to set the date up, she's most likely not going to set the date up. Just based off our culture and based on the fact that women want the man to be proactive and make the first move, she's not going to sit there and wait for you to sit there and set the date up herself. She's not going to do that. Now you might find a girl who skip the rules. I'm going to go for what I want, and she will set the date up. But I know, I'm trying to think. I can count on maybe. I'm trying to think. Maybe one hand. Of all the years of dating, I may count one hand of a girl actually hey, what are you doing? Want to come, go do something? Invite me on a date. All the other times I had to invite the girl on a date. I had to be like, you know what? Hey, what are you doing? What's your free time looking like? What's your weekend looking like? What's your weekday look like? What's your schedules? And then second, figure out, okay, so she's free on Friday. I'm free on Friday at this time. Hey, you want to go get, depending on what you're into, if it's a short, hey, just want to meet you to see how you are in person before we go elsewhere. You want to go get a cup of coffee. Then it's all right, cool. We realize we're vibing, go for drinks. Or you're hey, you want to go get drinks, or you want to go bowling, whatever the case may be, depending on how well your conversation is going over the phone. But also you can call her. Call her and say, hey, can I talk to you over the phone? Set a conversation, go from there, and then like, hey, can I take you on a date? When next time you're free? 2 weeks? It's a while, but I can make that happen. What just like you're doing right here is you're just waiting for her. First, you need to make the first move and invite her on the date. And then if she keeps saying, well, I'm busy this time. All right, cool. The ball's in your court. Set up a date. And she doesn't say, I'm busy and, but I'm free next Wednesday. If she doesn't give you those options, or she just said, I'm busy and doesn't get anything else, but then continue to talk to you like nothing happened, leave her be. She's not looking to date. Go find another girl to date. But if she says, I'm busy, but I'm free next Thursday, there you go. You have your date established. So get on to the date. Make the date happen. Stop waiting for her, waiting for the ladies to make the date. You make the date. Because you just wait, you're going to just keep talking and texting like the last episode. Dudes just kept texting, talking all day long. And then the girls found somebody else or lost interest and went elsewhere because you waited too long. Make the move. Ask her on a date. All right, next question. Did I mess up everything, or is it her fault? I matched with this lady on Tinder. There we go, Tinder one. I thought she was pretty and interesting, and we had initially a flowing conversation. After a while, she started just to reply to my questions without adding anything else. Her last answer was just, yep. I've been there. I've been there. Okay, this is the most frustrating thing someone can do. I had it so many times. I hate it. It's so disrespectful in respect to someone else who is trying to know you. Girls, women, please, if you're not interested, stop answering. Stop wasting people's time. Okay, rant done. The thing is, in the past, I would have simply ignored her, but I had so enough that I now started to be sarcastic with women to do that. So I replied, thank you for your time. Then she replied, what do you mean? And I explained my sarcasm because of her short answer. All right, don't become petty, because now you're becoming petty and now you're looking like the jerk. She said she was interested in me, but she was at work and busy. She couldn't write plentiful replies. See, that's what the app is for. Get off the app. Get off the app. So I apologize and explain it's better to reply with delay, but show effort and interest rather than giving short answers. It's not that deep. She replied that I am insecure and that this won't work because she cannot be herself now. Okay, I understand her point. I understand I could have spread my sarcasm, but you don't reply with yep to someone you're interested in, and I had so enough of it. My only concern is that probably she doesn't know dating apps etiquette. I'm going to finish this. I just had to take a moment. Dating app etiquette. She doesn't know dating app etiquette. Okay, coming back in. And she really could have been interested. But please, 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 women, if you're not interested, silence or unmatching is the best thing you can do for everyone. How about you invite her on a date? If you're having a flowing conversation with somebody, get her off the app. What are you waiting for? You're going back and forth. It's a dating app. She replies with yep to an answer. Start another part of the conversation. Or you'd be like, hey, this conversation is going great. Would you like to go on a date? We'd like to meet. I have done it before. I have even been on conversation. You may match with somebody, give answers, and then you get one word response. And then I was like, okay, well, I can't figure out how to respond back to the yep or sounds good or awesome, really neat. Like, how do I respond back to this? Well, let's start the conversation with something different. Then get that flowing conversation. Once I get the flowing conversation, I am trying to move to an in-person date to see how our personality matches in person. To sit there and then start being petty with somebody because you're full of it. How about you get off the app? Dating app etiquette. Yeah, there's some few things like don't send dick pics or don't send nudes to somebody on a dating app, or hit up somebody. I'm gonna say hit up somebody, be like, hey, you free? Hey, you up? But even then, that works on some people. It works on some women. It works on some guys where a girl hit up a guy and said, "You up?" And he's like, "Well, I guess I am now. Like, what are you up? What are you up to?" So I can't even say like don't do that, because if people are looking for different things on dating apps. But if you're having a good conversation with somebody, one, dating apps, some people don't have it. Messages pop up for their phone for dating apps. Some people just have it off in a corner where they don't get notifications, so they have to go to and look at it. Some people might have it in a folder. Some people have different spots. If they're at work, working like a normal person, working 8 hours a day or 4 hours a day, whatever the case may be, they're not going to respond back at certain hours. They're just not going to do that. So don't get mad at her for saying yep to you. Also, ask open-ended questions. Don't ask questions that get end with one-word answers. That's nothing going to do it. How's your day going? Great. What are you doing for today? Working. Okay. They're busy. But you like, hey, would you like to go on a date this weekend? Are you free? Yes, no, maybe, yes. Okay, she'll give you, then like, all right, what time? Or let's go this weekend. I don't even ask, are you free? Are you available to go on a date? Well, I guess, are you available on a date? It's still going to get a yes or no answer. But at least you know your answer right there and know how far they want to go to meet you. Get off the apps. Once you start having these conversations, from where right now, these last two guys have had great conversations. They just are not getting out of their own way. To be petty and like, well, I'm going to be sarcastic with her. Why die on his heel? You just missed a potentially good person because you decide to be an asshole. Does that make sense to you? All right. Next one. Took a girl home. We cuddled for hours. Question mark. Met a great lady at a club and went back to mine to get to know each other better. And it was kind of strange as we just talked and then pretty much spooned for like 4 hours until we fell asleep. Just light touching, no sex. Woke up and did the same for a couple more hours until I had to go out for the day. We were both super into it and it didn't feel weird at the time. And to be honest, it was nice to not feel pressured or need to perform. But now, a day later, I'm unsure if I didn't get any hints and disappointed her. I guess my question is this pretty normal to just meet someone and not sleep with them? I like her and have honestly never had an attraction like this. That's normal, man. That's perfectly fine. You had a good night. You met a girl at the club. Y'all both was into each other. Y'all both went back to your place. Y'all talked about who knows what. And y'all cuddled for 4 hours. Not every time you have to have a date with somebody. Not every time you have to meet with somebody that you have to have sex on the first time. Or you have to cuddle. Or you have to kiss. Or do something sexual. You don't have to do that. Go at your own pace. You probably didn't miss a hit. Or if she did, if she was being so subtle that like the bat of an eye, that was a horrible bat, was like, I'm interested, let's get it on. If that what it was, I don't know how many guys would have saw that too. Like, oh, she's blinking 5 times. She must be. I trying to say with a straight face. She must be ready to get down. like you didn't do anything wrong. And if she waited for you to make the first move, you wasn't comfortable in that situation to do that, which is great. Matter of fact, from here, you got her number, ask her out. If you did get her number, hopefully you got her number. Please, some of you got her number. But if you did get her number, ask her out on another date. That's probably where you guys are both sober. Or I would say if you get a drink, at least one drink, but at least be sober enough where you guys can have a conversation and see how you guys are, your non-club version of yourselves look like. And from there, make the move by like, hey, ask her, can you kiss her? Hey, go from there. Ask like, can I kiss you? You already cuddled, so I would ask, can you go for a kiss? And if she said, yeah, sure. Like, there you go, you're in. And then from there, you can have a conversation about, how she, I don't know, I'm trying to think because I don't have a conversation. I guess, yeah, just pretty much ask like, hey, are you okay with hooking up? How do you feel about that? Like, I don't know. You can go from there. But starting with the kiss is probably the first thing and see how she reacts to you and go from there. And then don't forget, no means no. So she says no, you stop regardless. But Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. You're perfectly fine in the situation. All right, next question. Guy I'm newly exclusive with hasn't deleted Bumble yet and has it set to travel mode for upcoming work trip. I have no idea how to bring this up. I'm newly dating a guy I met on Bumble and we had the exclusive talk about 1 month ago. He let me know he wasn't using Bumble anymore and asked for me to be exclusive, which I said yes to. He's going to Mexico City for 2 days this week for work. This morning, I went to delete my Bumble account and saw that he still hadn't deleted his account. I then went to his account and I saw he set his Bumble account to travel mode for Mexico City. This is something you literally have to pay on Bumble to do. He's not on the trip yet, so I know he did this intentionally to date / hook up / whatever while he was on his trip. I even told him a few days ago that I really like him and don't want this connection to go away. This was before I knew he was still on Bumble. I just said this because I really liked him and wanted to make sure he was still on the same page. And he said with confidence that this connection is not going away and that he's still invested in me. Then I came across this and I'm absolutely devastated. Devastated. The writing is on the wall, and I just had no idea how to bring this up to him. He texted me this morning, and I haven't replied because I literally don't know what to say. He leaves for a trip Wednesday. Any and all advice is welcome. Please be kind. He broke your guys' exclusive. I get it. And this is why exclusive to me is just pretty much boyfriend, girlfriend. And if he's cheating. He is cheating. Or he is setting up the cheat. He is setting up the pass to do the slam dunk for cheating. It's basketball season. He said he want to be exclusive. You said, I'm down to be exclusive too. He is now broke that contract you guys made. That this is an exclusive relationship. Exclusive means we're not hooking up with anybody else. We're just getting to know each other more. And we are not boyfriend, girlfriend yet, but we're exclusive. We're only talking to each other. Yeah, no. He broke that. Now, when I first read it, and before you got into the fact he's on travel mode and that he had set for Mexico City, the fact that he hadn't deleted Bumble yet was been like, okay, maybe he doesn't know where it's going to go, so he has Bumble sitting there. But the fact that he changed the travel mode means to me, yes, he is doing what you think he's doing. The writing is on the wall. His words are saying one thing, but his actions telling you the real truth. And the truth is that he is planning on cheating. You bring it up, you say, hey, boyfriend, or not boyfriend, sorry. Hey, Mr. Exclusive. I want to go delete my Bumble this morning. And I decided to look at your profile one last time. Just curiosity kills the cat. And I saw that you have your travel to Mexico City. You can give him a moment to explain. But to me, you should already have your mind set up. Be like, I was under the understanding that we was exclusive. If this is not an exclusive relationship, let me know. And you know what? You can go and have fun in Mexico City, but I'm going to go do my own thing, and I'm going to be single. I had high hopes. You don't have to tell me that you had high hopes. Y'all wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend. To me, boyfriend, girlfriend, just make the label, get it out the way. But y'all wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't even tell them, you don't deserve the fact to know I had high hopes. But I am devastated by this. You know, you can say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed I saw that. But you go have fun. You go do your own thing. I'm going to be single. And if you want to try this again later, you can come back. But I don't want anything less than boyfriend or girlfriend. That's what I would tell him. If you come back, you got to be committed to me. That's how it's going to be. But right now, he's already showing you signs that he's not a committed person. Even right now, if you're exclusive, he's already having the idea to set up the cheat. Even that's emotional cheating. It's not it. It's not it. This is not the guy for you. And it's okay. It's gonna suck. You just know how long you said newly 1 month. Newly for 1 month. You found out. You found out now versus finding out, 5 years later when he's had a whole person on the side cheating. So I'll consider yourselves lucky for that and call it a day. Say, hey, this is not for me. I'm going to leave. Toodaloo. Next one. Men, what are some habits that make you lose interest in women? I'm curious to hear from the men in this subreddit about your dating experiences. Specifically, I'd like to know if there are certain habits or behaviors in a woman that make you reconsider your interest in continuing to date her. Whether it's something she does, says, or a way she behaves. What are the deal breakers or turnoffs for you? I can't speak for all men. Each man's going to be different. For me, personally, she has to be goofy. If she's not goofy, she's super serious all the time, or constantly want to start an argument or a debate, that's going to be turn-offs for me. Like, I want somebody who's a little more laid back, who's fun to hang around, who's kind of like a friend. Like, I want a friend, and that my friends, I don't sit around and like have arguments and discussions about like, if somebody make a point about something and that person's right, instead of sitting there contradicting, it's like, no, you're not right. Like, I don't want that negativity. Like, I'd rather just have fun and kick with my friends. I don't sit there and argue with my friends about like, well, no, on this date, you're actually wrong. This event happened versus like, no, I'm pretty sure the Miami Dolphins won in 1972. And this is a whole football reference right there. They was the first undefeated team. Matter of fact, the only undefeated NFL team to win all their games and even the Super Bowl. Anyway, football trivia. But if you know that kind of stuff and somebody's like, no, actually it was 1974 they did that, you're like, why are you contradicting me? I have the documents. I have Google. So I don't want somebody who's constantly like kind of like nag you and constantly be negative, and anytime you say something like contradicts you, it's probably something that to me like that's a bit turn off for myself. But you hear a lot of guys, you listen to podcasts, and a lot of guys say what they're looking for. They want somebody who's fun, somebody who has a good personality, somebody's fun to be around, hang out with, and just willing to kick it. And when we might kick it, like somebody we can legit be a friend with. We can kick it with our friends. We want our partner to be a friend that we have sex with. Pretty much. Somebody else pointed in this one. They said, if I'm always the one continuing conversations, planning dates, initiating any form of affection, reciprocation is sexy and makes me feel cared for. And that's something that is true too. We want somebody to reciprocate. If we're always giving one-sided just responses, if we give out answer questions and no responses, or there's no back and forth, and it's just one person, constantly just giving effort, and nobody else is getting, the person not giving the other effort, yeah, we're going to be like, hey, where's us? What about me? If we're always giving, there's nothing in return, yeah, we don't find that attractive at all. That's a turn off as well. Like, the simple as a guy, how's his day? It could make a man's whole day. How's your day going? Because at least you tell me you're somewhat interested. To be honest, if I ask what your day is and you don't respond back with that, I'm going to think that you're like not interested and not want to continue forward. Like, I will feel like, okay, they didn't care about my side of things. I care about theirs, but they didn't care about mine. But that is something, and that's not just the reciprocation is both men and women. But for most guys, you hear they want somebody to have a great personality, somebody who's fun to hang around with, somebody they can kick it with, and somebody that's, some dudes would say, I guess, turn-offs or deal breakers. Yeah, somebody who's they don't have a good personality. They have a horrible personality or mean, it would probably be a big turn-off and deal breaker. Not probably, will be, to be honest. Or the only thing it brings to the table is just their looks. It's a big turn-off. You gotta have layers, like an onion or like an ogre. Shrek reference. All right, TikTok time. So this first one here is from the UAF podcast. Let's see what they got to say here.
I saw this post that said women are like, it's not until a woman realizes that a man will communicate with the woman that he likes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
a man will communicate.
It's not that men have issues communicating.
A man will
it's
do
that
any and everything y'all say men don't do with the woman he likes.
Yeah, you know how many men...
Did you hear what he just
Yes.
No, a man will do everything that y'all say men don't do and men ain't capable of, and ain't no more men like this. He will do all that without having to be prompted.
Yeah.
And he would do it with joy and glee for the woman he actually liked.
That is 1,000% true. 1,000% true. If a man truly loves a woman and truly likes a woman, really likes where he sees a future with her, he's going to do everything he can to make that happen. With everything that he can to make her feel courted and wants to be in a relationship with him. He's going to do that because he wants to be with her. I remember this when I was younger. Now I mean younger, I mean like, what? 8 years ago? Good Lord. But I remember my friend, he had a girlfriend and he tied her shoes. And I mean, my friend he's a few years older than me. So he would have been like 33, 34. And he was tying his lady's shoe. And I looked at him and I was like, I would never. I would never. I get into a relationship. And here I am. Babe, no, you sit down. I got this. Putting her shoe on, tying her shoe for her. And I said that, and I chuckled to myself, and she was like, what's funny? Because I was like, I would never imagine myself putting my lady's shoe on her and telling her to take a load off for a moment. I got her. Never thought about doing that until one moment. I don't know. I felt compelled to do that. I felt compelled to like, hey, you've been going through a long day. Take a load off. I got you. I'm already down here. Let me picking my shoes on. Your shoes right there. Let me just put your shoes on. Like, you're good. Take a seat. I cannot explain why I did it because I just genuinely really liked the girl, really loved the girl at the time, my ex, and I wanted to do that for her. And see my friend do that, I was like, I just chuckled because I ended up doing what I said I would never do. And right then and there, to his point, a man will do everything to make a woman feel like cloud nine if he truly likes her and loves her. He will try to move mountains in the clouds for a woman. Now, when will a man stop doing that? Back to the Reddit post, when he feels like it's not reciprocated, when he feels like the lady is pulling away, when he feels like she's not giving back the same energy that he's putting in, he'll be like, all right, well, I'm going to stop. And then eventually the resentment kicks in because both partners start giving 110%. But yeah, right off the bat, a man would do any and everything for a lady that he really likes. All right, next video here. This is from 5.5792. Men want to see girls in sundress.
If you ask a man what he wants to see a woman in the summer, his answer is always going to be a sundress. A sundress. Okay, can you maybe take us somewhere we could wear a sundress to? You have us in the crib, at McDonald's, and at the homie's pad. Where am I wearing a sundress to? The drive-thru? Be so fucking for real. Ever heard of a farmer's market? You're fucking weird.
Okay, so that sounds like your bad experience, but how about you date somebody who, when they say, hey, we want to go hang out, and you say, sure, and they're like, hey, we're going to my friend's place. How about you ask for hey, I don't want to go hang out with your friends. Can we go on an actual date? As if you're even at this point where you guys are just hanging out, boyfriend, girlfriend. But if you're going on a date with somebody, they should be inviting you to a date, and they should be inviting you to your friend's place or going through McDonald's drive-thru that you mentioned, these two scenarios that happen here. Farmer's market, you can say, or matter of fact, if your boyfriend, girlfriend, how about you invite him to the farmer's market? Hey, you want to go to the farmer's market with me this morning? You wear the sundress. He's happy. There you go. The sundress phenomenon, I don't get it. It's never been one of the things where I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see a girl in a sundress. But there's some guys who like that, and hey, good for sundresses. Sales are going to go up. It's great marketing. But how about the guys you date? You have them take you on actual dates versus just simple hanging out the friend's crib. Matter of fact, I wouldn't accept a date for somebody who's like, hey, I'm going to my friend's crib. You want to come over? Is this a date? No, sorry. That's not gonna work for me. And if he called you high maintenance, if he called you, stuck up or stubborn, then that's on him. But he need to come with a better game plan. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. My pen dropped, so I had to go down and get that. All right, next video here. Let's see what we got. And This is from Olga.Safari. So she says,
realized about relationships. A guy starts off by putting 100% in the beginning of a relationship. And over time, that will slowly go down from like 100 to 95 to 90 to 80 to 85. And then you notice, and you only notice when it goes down to like 75 or 80%, and then you say something. And then when you say something, he puts back 5% effort and you're content. You're like, okay, he put in some effort, but it never goes back up to 100 or 90 or 95. It just goes from like that 75 to 80. And then it goes back down again to like 70. And then it goes down to 60. Long story short, it'll just go back down to 10%. When it started at 100, I'm not saying all men do this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as a woman, I feel like we invest more time and put in more effort as the relationship goes on because it becomes more and more serious. Moral of the story, if you're dating a guy and he starts off at 100% effort and you're noticing over time it's slowly going down, I just think that you deserve better.
that is not where I saw that going. I think that you deserve better. What? What? I think you deserve it. Okay, hold up. So if you notice the guy's putting 110% in, he's going 100%, and then he slowly starts to drop off because, reciprocation is not there. I've talked about it now, this is the third time on this podcast, talking about the word reciprocation and reciprocating. If he notices it's not there, he's going like, all right, I'll match her energy. But then she's going up from 0 to 100, and he's like coming down. If at one point they might meet each other at 60%, but at that point he's gonna keep going. He's like, well, she's not giving enough energy, and I put in so much, I'm not getting it. And she's like, well, I don't want to put in more in it. Yes, the reason why I'm saying like men will put more 100% effort in the beginning because men are taught to be the chaser. Men are taught to be the courter. They're the one courting. They're the one, hey, I got to separate myself from all the other men. Actually, I got to say why I'm doing the best here and why I'm the best candidate to date, to marry. That's why. That's that cultural ideology comes into the play there. I got to be the best candidate. Of all the other guys, all the other suitors, I am number one. Choose me. I am your bachelor. That's what's going on here. And what you're seeing there is the lady, okay, she's like, I'm a little skeptical because, who else is he seeing? Or I have other options. I'm working my way through. Oh, he's showing himself a little bit more. I'm going to put a little more in. But she's not going all in either. And of course, he was like, well, she's not going in. I'm going to see a little bit, pull off a little bit. Maybe she's not invested like I'm invested. Maybe she's not interested in me like I'm interested in her. So he's going to pull away. But what you don't want to let happen, when you start putting in energy, ladies, and putting in effort, and then let him know you're putting in effort. When he start giving you something, and then you start giving himself back, and y'all going back and forth, and y'all see like, okay, our love meter is being hit. I'm making sure he feel good. He's making sure you feel good, and y'all have a good communication, go back and forth. There you go. That's that successful relationship happening. But you're like, no, I'm letting him keep putting 110% in, keep going. Nah, I don't feel like putting anything in. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to go off to do my own thing. You do your own thing. Emily King does respond to this as well. So let's see what Emily King has to say.
You know what I just realized about relationships? A guy starts off by putting 100% in the beginning of a relationship. And over time, that will slowly go down from like 100 to 95 to 90 to 80 to 85. And then you notice, and you only notice when it goes down to like 75 or 80%, and then you say something. And then when you say something, he puts back 5% effort and you're content. You're like, okay, he put in some effort, but it never goes back up to 100 or 90 or 95. It just goes from like that 75 to 80. And then it goes back down again to like 70. And then it goes down to 60.
She reacted to the whole video, actually.
Go back down to 10% when it started at 100.
If a man does this, it is not because he has a problem giving effort. The problem he has is giving that effort, but not receiving any effort back. And of course, early on in dating, that man, he knows he's expected to give. And so he does that, but at some point, he has to feel like he's going to get some amount of reciprocation. Because honestly, that man is just trying to figure out if you actually like him. And if you're not giving any effort back, he's starting to think that you don't. And so why should he continue investing in you if he thinks that you don't even like him?
Case in point. All right, moving on, because she said it well enough, and I already talked about it too. All right, let's see here. This is from the Confidence _ podcast. So what he
And
has
this is
to
what I
say.
really told her. And this is the fucking truth about relationships.
Hey, yo.
If you're in a relationship with someone, your emotional well-being is reliant on them. Point blank. And that's what I told her to her face. I was like, listen, if I'm single, my emotional well-being is completely on me. I have no one to answer to. I have no one to talk to. And I'm sitting there on the phone. I'm like, listen, but with you in my life, if I am talking to you, my emotional well-being, I was like, it starts and ends with you. I tell her, I'm like, if I'm having a good day, it's because we're in a good standing. If we're consistent and you're communicating and we're good vibes, I'm like, my days are amazing. My mood is great. But if we're communicating like shit and we're not connecting, or you're in a bad mood, or we're in bad moods, or the vibes aren't right, I'm having a shit day. And I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, you don't realize how much power you have over me or in this situation. I literally tell her, I'm like, my emotional well-being is literally reliant on you. And whether you like it or not, that's just the truth.
Okay. I agree with him to an extent because it makes complete sense. When you're single, you literally don't have to answer to anybody but yourself. It is you. You're doing your own thing. You can handle how you feel. But when you have a partner and you live by the mantra of you are in service of your partner. When you're in a relationship with your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, you are in service of your partner. If you're in service of your partner and your partner is having a bad day, you want to do everything you can to make your partner feel better. You're going to be thinking about your partner throughout the day. You're like, man, I hope I can figure out how to make her day better. I what I can do to make her feel better. I don't know what else to add here. Maybe like try therapy. Maybe you can try go shopping. What do you like doing? Let's see if we can do that, make you feel better. You're thinking everything you can do to make your partner feel better. And you guys are at odds. Yeah, that's going to play a part into your daily life. If you're at work and you're at home, is not a safe place because you guys are arguing left and right, and so much tension when you walk through the door. You're gonna be off your I won't say rocker, but not off your rocker, but off your mojo at work. You're not gonna be able to concentrate. You're not gonna be able to navigate because you're so busy thinking about your relationship and how to better salvage it and how to make it better. So I do understand that, like he said, like your emotional well-being is, your partner does have some responsibility in that. Yes, you also have some responsibility in your emotional well-being too. If you know that you're in a relationship where your partner is not treating you right and you're not doing right by you, it's okay for you to be like, you know what, I'm going to, let my partner know, like, hey, I don't accept this, I don't tolerate that. This is what I deserve, this is what I would like to have. Now remember, you gotta be able to reciprocate that. You gotta get the same thing. Where you plan on taking from your partner, you gotta be able to give it, like where you're willing for your partner to give you, you have to be able to give that as well. If you want respect, you want to be taken care of, cuddled, and feel value, you also have to be able to give that back to your partner. You can't be like tick for tat, like, well, they didn't do this for me, so I'm not gonna do this for you. They didn't do that for me, I'm not gonna do that for you. You can't do that to your partner. No, that's just gonna keep you guys going to this cesspool over and over again, and that's gonna just lead to the relationship breaking up. But let's say you brought that to your partner's attention and say, hey, I really need this. It makes me feel great when you do this. I feel alive when you do this. I feel appreciative. I feel valued when you do this. And your partner's like, all right, well, I can't do that for you, or I don't want to do that for you. Then you have to say, for my emotional well-being, for my health, and for our benefits, I am going to leave this relationship. You're not a bad person. For me, I'm not in a good spot to be in a relationship like this, and I'm going to step away. It's tough. It's not easy. But yes, for your own sake, that's what you have to do sometimes. Now, your partner does, like he said, they do play a part in it. It's not solely on your partner to make sure your emotional well-being is taken care of. It's both sides, but your partner does play a part in how you navigate throughout the day. We can't deny that part. Because you're thinking about your partner, if your partner's going through it, you're going to try to be their rock, be their support system, and try to figure out how to help them out, and how way you can be better of service to them, better help them out. But if they're not where your partner's like, you can't really help out, then that emotional support system that you're planning on being, watching your partner suffer, that's not really fun. So Yeah, I do agree with him to an extent. And confidence underscore podcast. Nice comment there. All right. We're gonna do 2 more videos and then we'll call it an episode. So this is from Wavy Ute or Wave Ute. Like, let's see what she has to say here.
Why do men not understand hints? Why do I have to spell every fucking thing out? Why can't you just one simple little hinting at this? Fucking understand what I'm trying to say. I don't want to have to spell everything out like I'm your mother.
Because we are adults and human beings. We don't got time for hints. Hints are games. Be upfront. Be upfront. You don't have to spell everything out like your mother. Do we have a routine set up? Do we know, hey, we wake up in the morning, we need to make sure we have breakfast out ready for everybody. We need to make sure that we got food on the table. Make sure that the dinner or breakfast is ready to go to eat. And that way we can have something to go. And make sure the keys is like on the, I don't know, the wall on a hook or something like that, so we can have our stuff ready to go if we can just leave in the morning. Like, are you being communicative? Are you being open about it and have like these conversations versus are you waking up and saying, I'm hungry? Okay. I'm hungry. You're a dope. We have food in the kitchen. Versus saying, hey babe, I just want to go get something to eat. What do you like to eat? You want to do dinner tonight? You want to eat out tonight? Like, that's a different question versus I'm hungry. All right. I actually got a good example of this. Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. If you ever listen to the Nightcap podcast, him and Shannon Sharp, him and his wife were beefing for like 3 weeks because of this. And Chad Johnson, he goes off the wall sometimes. But he literally woke up and said he was hungry at 4 a.m. in the morning. And his girlfriend's like, his wife was like, okay, that's fine. Like, you can go get something to eat. And he got mad at her. He's like, well, you better give and cook me something. One, have you guys had a conversation about like, hey, okay, you're doing the cooking, I'm doing the cleaning kind of situation. You guys had no conversation. You never had that conversation. You just assume that she's going to get up and cook for you at 4 a.m. in the morning because you said you was hungry is ridiculous. I would do the same thing. Hey, you can go get your own food. And what she did, he went to go to McDonald's and got his own food. And Shannon Sharp said the same thing. You go get your own food. Conversation, communication. Everybody knows where they're at. Then everybody knows, okay, this is what needs to be done at a certain time. Hints get you nowhere. You know what they say about assumptions? Assuming. I'm not going to say the rest of it. I guess I can because I've been cussing. But it makes an ass out of you and me when you assume something. Don't make hints. One hint's not clear cut. I could try to assume what she was head nodding like this. Like, okay, well that doesn't help me out. Like, I'm hungry, which is the one I think of. Then let's say, hey babe, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get something to eat. What are you thinking of tonight? Oh, I wasn't thinking about dinner, but let's see what we got here. Like, what you feeling? And then you have a conversation back and forth. Hints get you nowhere. Hints are playing games, and we're trying to have open, healthy communication. So hints is not it. All right, next video, and then we'll call it a day. This is from _Gwen Thou. All right, let's see what you have to say.
I got a question. Is cheating no longer a deal breaker or what? I'm watching these videos of the trend, things my ex did, and I still stay with him. Frankly, some of y'all need intense therapy. Second of all, why is it that so many of y'all stayed after that man cheated? For why? Why? Because if I was your guys' friends, oh, you're lucky, because I would have dragged you out of there. Things that I consider cheating. Texting other women with flirtatious intention. Meeting up with a woman without telling your girlfriend. Installing a dating app even though you're just swiping and not messaging anybody. And the borderline ones include randomly turning off your location. If your girlfriend asks you to post her and your first response is, I don't even use Instagram. You know what? I'll just delete Instagram. Or even keeping in contact with somebody your girlfriend told you that she didn't want you to be in contact with. Do y'all not understand that you deserve better? I promise you the world is bigger than that dusty ass man. Please, cheating is a deal breaker. Leave them.
I agree with her 1000%. The one with the girlfriend, like, don't want you hanging out with somebody. I don't like somebody telling somebody, you can't hang out with certain people. We're adults. We have our boundaries. So that part right there is like, no. But that's what she considered cheating. Now, her question is, why do people stay with people after they've been cheated on? One, it's to try to see they can make things better than what it was that caused the infidelity. So they can try to make a new, change things up. Two, it's a lot scarier to be single for people than to be in a relationship with somebody. 'Cause at least you know your relationship, you know what the status quo is. You know that you are in a place of content, complacency, and you know, like, hey, you know what you're getting. So just easier to stay around and hang around. If there's a kid involved, people might stay around for the kid. Financial. Person don't have their own money, so they stay around for somebody because they had their whole investment. They let somebody else be their investment, and that person decided to cheat on them. And they're like, I don't want to leave. So those are things why people say in a relationship after cheating. I do agree. If cheating is your threshold, you should leave that relationship. It should be over. It should be a wrap. But those are all people stay in it versus just getting out because they feel like there's no way they can get out. They feel like, okay, I'm going to try to make this work versus saying, you know what? I'm going to leave you. You cheated. I don't want any of that. You go do your own thing. I'm going to do my own thing. If 4 months from now, a year from now, you feel like you've done better and you feel like you cleaned yourself up and got yourself right and don't want to cheat again, all right, I might reconsider the relationship if I'm single. But if I'm not, you good luck out there. I'm gonna leave for my own place because I don't want to stick around for any more heartbreak, for any more disappointment. And that's why reason why people stay in cheating. Now the book, Stay After Cheating. The book, If You're in My Office Already Too Late by James Sexton, the divorce lawyer. He talks about like what can lead up to cheating. He talks about how like, okay, well, they wasn't having sex in 4 months, 3 years. They haven't had sex. They wasn't even intimate. Holding hands wasn't a thing. Well, you're not holding hands from him. You're not holding hands with you. You're not having physical touch. Where is the person getting this intimacy from? They're not getting it from each other. Where are they getting it from? And it starts off with like little things like, okay, well, the person stopped doing this. Well, now I stopped putting in effort. And then they stopped putting in effort. And then that person started putting in effort. And they just keep going down. Reciprocation is like the key of this episode today. Reciprocating. But if both parties stop reciprocating with each other, both partners stop reciprocating, stop caring for each other's needs. And that don't even have to be sexual. It could be something like a hug or telling like, baby, you look beautiful today. Or like, hey, I went and got this for you. Make sure you felt good today. You're sick, so I want to go get your chicken noodle soup. Like, stop caring for each other. Those 5 love languages, when they stop building up their love meter, that person will go find that love from somebody else. And versus being I commend people out there who say, you know what, I'm not happy in this relationship, I'm in it, versus I tripped and fell and I end up in a girl and we end up having sex because I fell. Like, really? You didn't trip and fall. Let's not lie. You wouldn't actively, the person gave you attention. It felt new. It felt fresh. It felt ecstatic. And you fell for that trap versus saying to your significant other, I do not want to keep doing this anymore. The thought went to my mind and I need you more than anything. And we need to fix us before we are no longer together. But yet at the point where we're like, hey, we don't want to be together, then we're calling it a day. But yeah, that's why people stay in relationships after cheating, because they think they can fix it. But by that point, it's already, the damage is done and it's not really fixing it. It's to get ahead of it and ahead of time. It's to make sure you both are fulfilling your guys' love meter. Make sure you guys both needs are being met, whether that is, emotional or physical. Make sure you're taking care of your partner. And once you guys are there and your partners both putting the energy into each other, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But all right, guys, that's it for this episode of Nerdy Dating. I appreciate y'all for listening to this episode. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next episode of Nerdy Dating, and keep being awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating, you want to put it in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you and keep being awesome.